Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop. So, I haven't had a project for about a week now, but it's not like I haven't been doing anything. If you'll notice, I've been rearranging my bench area here. This is in the one room of my one workshop, and got my Variac dim bulb tester up here, got my soldering iron up. I put this shelf up here. The tools that I use the most I have up here on the shelves. So what I have been working on besides straightening up my shop was I decided I had to have a articulated arm for camera work. So I had gone on YouTube a few weeks ago, watched a bunch of videos, looked at what people were building, and decided that I was going to emulate the best of everything that I saw all in one piece. Which leads me to what you're seeing here in the picture. This is my articulated camera mount. It's got knobs that I've built to make it easier to pivot and strong enough to hold it once I get it there. It's articulated in several locations. As you can see here, I've got one here, one here, one here, and the one here, and then the one at the top. And then the whole thing can pivot if I needed to. So, and then on top of that, I have the ball joint that allows me the flexibility to move my camera mount. And I can rotate that, I can pivot it here, rotate this. So it gives me a lot more universal capability. I put a camera mount here on the top so it can aim out that way. I put a camera mount coming out the front so it can aim down. I think that it's going to give me a lot more versatility as far as when I'm filming stuff for you guys, because it'll leave my normal tripod available for a second camera, which I want to start trying to give you guys a little bit of variety with picture-in-picture shots, as well as some just different angles, various angles. Let me take out the tripod. I'll show you this thing up close a little bit better. Okay, so if we look here at the top, all I've done is drilled a 5/16 inch hole in my rafter, and I have just used a backup piece of wood here to allow no flexing to occur at that lag bolt, because that's a lag bolt. I've got a 5-arm initial suspension that allows me to vary it on down to all the way down to 1, right? So that's how I get my articulation joints. So that's the first one. This was not difficult to build, just time consuming as far as cut, and more than that, sanding to get the rounded edges, and then drilling. But I did make a fixture so that I could put every piece in and drill them all in the same locations. And then it's just some hardware. So what I did was I bought a 2x4 sheet of 1/2-inch plywood. I set my table saw up to rip off 2-inch slats, and I ripped off the 2-inch slats. I kind of figured ahead of time on a piece of paper the lengths that I wanted so that I could come out and get enough. And actually, I've got enough lumber left over to build one more of these. So I think I paid $8 something for the 2x4 sheet. So I'm going to get 2 of these for $8 worth of lumber, and then I think I've got another $10 worth of hardware between the T-nuts, the wing nuts, the various link carriage bolts, because those are all carriage bolts in there, and the piece here, the round piece, I actually bought at Hobby Lobby, and so I think this is going to be a great addition to the shop. The other thing I did was I drilled a hole here, I drilled a hole back here, and then I drilled a hole here so that it can work with this bench as well. So between the pivot capability and the various locations in which I've put holes, I can relocate this. The other one I'm going to mount in this shop in here and do the same thing. I'm going to have it so that it has the capability of aiming down on this bench as well as aiming down over here at this bench or my tube testing bench station. Probably I'll even make it so that I can aim it here at my buffer. So ultimately I'd like to have 3 or 4, but for now I've got the one and I've got enough pieces cut for the second one. So in a few weeks I'll probably go ahead and build a second one, and then after that I'll probably build a third or a fourth. Probably 4 total, because I can get 2 out of one 2x4 sheet of 1/2 inch. So I wanted to show you guys that. This is just a quick video, and let you see what I've been working on. I tried to spare you guys the pain of the monotony as far as cutting all the pieces, sanding the smooth rounds on them, and drilling. So I did all of that off camera. I put some of the very last finishing into this, and you're going to see that in the next clip. Series of clips of me finishing it up and drilling the holes and mounting it. So between straightening up my bench, getting everything where I can use it easily and power it up easily, I've got pretty much all of the circuits wired into this outlet right here, so that I can literally turn on everything in one flip of the switch, which lights up a light up underneath there, as well as my magnifying light. And then that way, at the end of the day or at the end of the night when I'm done working, I just flip the one off. I know everything's off. So that's where we're at. Another addition to my bench is a PC board holder. I got a little transistor radio, the kit that I was telling you that my daughter got me for Christmas. I've got that mounted in there. So that's going to come in handy. I also got a solder sucker, which I've been wanting for a while. It's a cheap Chinese one, but it seems to work pretty good. So I've got the solder sucker out, and like I said, just been relocating things and trying to make things operate smoother in the shop here. So kind of like Doug and Bill and everybody else, trying to make more room. And I don't like doing this sort of stuff. I prefer working on the radios, but at some point you gotta kind of stop, take stock, redo things, and start all over again. So yeah, so that's the articulated arm, and I'm pretty excited about it. It'll start getting used right away. I have a new project upcoming. Supposed to be here tomorrow. It is a Philco 7070. I think it's a 77. It's either a 7070 or 0707. I can't remember. But it's a signal generator. And I've got 2 signal generators. I've got the ICO 324, and then I obviously have the Heathkit that I just finished a few weeks ago. But I watched Larry at Back to the Future Radios, and his Philco 077 signal generator from the late 30s is such a beautiful signal generator, and I did not realize that Philco actually built signal generators for their technicians to use, and so they weren't from kits like most of the ICOs and the Heath kits. And Larry's turned out very accurate. I'm very impressed with the way it looks and the way it operated, and I was like, I've got to have one of those. And then I saw Bob at Bandaserve, I think is the name of his site, had one that he was restoring, and I was like, that is so cool. I've got to get one of those. So I went on eBay, started looking. Of course, there was nothing there. I'm going to continue to watch for one because I still want one. But I did see the one that I did purchase, and it's not nearly as cool, but it is also still made by Philco for their technicians, so I'm hoping that it'll be nice and accurate, and it'll just make a good addition down here in the shop. But I'm still going to be looking for that 077. So anyway, that's this video. Like I said, it's a short one. I wanted to show you my articulating camera arm, and pretty happy with the way it turned out. If I was to give you guys an estimate, I think I have a total of 4 hours start to finish in this arm. And like I said, it's not difficult to do. I just took my measurements, determined how many articulations I wanted, tried to make the most of my 2x4 sheet, and that's the way it turned out. If I had to remember my sizes, this was approximately 18 inches, this one was approximately 14 inches, this one was 10 inches, this one was 6 inches, and this one was 4 inches if I remember correctly. These blocks are all 4 inches wide, and as I said, everything's made from a 2-inch strip. I just cut the 2-inch strips out of the 2x4, and that's what they got. This is all 5/16 inch hardware, other than the 1/4 inch for the camera mount. And yeah, I think that that's going to be a good addition to the shop, and it's going to hold my things much more steady and be out of my way. What I've been using for the overhead was this one, which was cheap and it got the job done, but I bumped it all the time. It was kind of in the way, so I'm hoping that with this one I can angle it in such a way that it comes down and it's out of my way. So anyway, I'm going to end it for this video. If you're not a subscriber and want to become one, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and tune back in when we start the Philco signal generator. And for now, we're going to say thank you for watching Gregg's Vintage Workshop.